Going inside prisons. I knew prisons. I knew what the system was. I was a young graduate, a law graduate. So I'd learnt about it. I had a law degree, but did I really know how it functioned? Did I really know what people within the system experienced? Absolutely not.
There is no replacement for physically going to places that are uncomfortable for you and making yourself a fly on the wall, not inserting yourself into it like you're the center of it, but I feel that's what the project did. It got us out of Delhi, capital city, national law school.
There was a phase there where, one came very close to saying, maybe this is not going to see the light of day.
When I was in my third year, Afzal Guru was executed, and everyone was celebrating. It was very, TV, media, everyone was very happy about it.
And there was a long email which was shared by Anup at that time, condemning how the state has executed someone. And for the first time, I think death penalty as an issue, you really started grappling with. I'll be fair and frank that you did not come with any sort of notions on the issue of death penalty.
At that point, it was not as much to do with the details of that case that really got me thinking about the death penalty, but it was that the conversation was so sharp and so divisive. It was almost surprising how little information there was about the death penalty in India.
I think nobody really imagined what is going to happen. It sounded like something interesting, and I think we all just joined, and then the navigation was just a very slow, continuous process, I think, over the next 3 years of the project.
One understands that silence is also political, and I guess at that point I felt it would be deeply political to keep quiet, right? And I didn't want that politics of silence to play out from my end.
Shreya and I were tasked with tracking down all the families in Maharashtra. So that was actually a lot of, I think, when we worked together to map out, we had a map of Maharashtra which we kind of then mapped, and where we would go and what we would do and who would we meet, and booking train tickets and figuring out how to get there.
The status of information and the accuracy of the information that is held in our systems are so unreliable, and it was a mammoth exercise to just get even basic information of who is on death row, who are these people, where are they lodged, and where are their families.
Usually how it worked was we would meet the prisoner first. They would give us a vague address that ये गाँव है, वो मंदिर के पास हमारा घर है, या उस पेड़ के पास या कुएं के पास, or some really abstract sort of a landmark, and that's what you go by, right? So then to locate that family in that village was the more challenging part, that you were just clearly outsiders who were just walking into a village.
You just knew that the people you were going to interact with are the people who you usually do not interact with a lot. So it was always about how do you communicate in a way that is comfortable for the interview.
Like, they are extremely poor. They are extremely marginalized. Even I remember the first ever interview that I went for as part of this project was in UP. I didn't understand before that what kind of an impact just someone in your house being on death row can have, right? We were traveling to the village, and I think, kilometers away from that village, if you even mention that you're going to that village, they all know. And they said, oh, that one where there are all of this entire bunch of families. And the moment you step into that village, you start asking anyone about, say, hey, I want to meet this person. Can you direct us to their house? There would be a concern in their eyes also to just see as to why are these people who otherwise don't belong here are going to be meeting them. and then to be going into interviewing these families who are obviously extremely scared, to be scared or just cynical about speaking to anyone, wanting to open up to you, and that's sort of an experience of how you interact with them and the kind of sensitivities. I think nothing prepares you for it.
That the accused is also a person. The accused is a person with her family. How is the family navigating through the criminal justice system as well? I think family is the bit which is rarely ever looked at. So for us to actually put a face to those people and to find out about their experiences was completely new.
I think after 2 years of finishing the field interviews and all the interviews were done, everything was done, and we were sitting on this bulk of information, data, interviews, all of that, the visits, and that we had to start the analysis and that we had to write it and then design. All of that seemed impossible at that stage after like nearly 2.25 years. I mean, for that, I'm forever grateful to Shreya, who joined us around then after she graduated and after a year in a law firm, her coming back and the energy that she brought into it and took all of us along and energized all of us to drag us across the finish line.
To figure out how is it that we were even going to find a way to go through all of this information of so many prisoners, their family interviews, and we've collected their judgments. We have all of this documentation that the prisons have given us. So that itself, coming up with that plan was quite overwhelming at that time. I guess what stayed with me in terms of the insights that were coming through were certainly the socioeconomic profile, right? You just can't deny what you're seeing. And in a manner of speaking, even as we were writing the report, which is why we were so pushed to not just make it about the numbers. We want to kind of ensure that this is a resource that allows people to both see what we see across all of the prisoners, but also see some insights into how those numbers should be understood and read. One of the things that we've done in the report, apart from interviewing prisoners, is that in part 2 of the report, we've looked at 15-year data, right? And that also sowed the seeds for the next level of our sentencing work. What we saw in prisons and the conditions of incarceration, the impact on the prisoners themselves as well as on the family members, that is what sowed the seeds for our what came to become our mental health research project, because we knew that we really do need to do a deep dive into the prevalence of mental health concerns in the death row population.
The death penalty conversations now start from the fact that, okay, this is given to really poor people. They come from marginalized backgrounds. They have terrible legal representation, right? And these are not some repeat offenders who have had a life of crime. These are mostly first-time offenders. And conditions of death row in our country are terrible. I would think that the baseline of the conversation has shifted, right?
I think the report, of course, definitely gave an initial impetus in a particular direction. It gave us a particular perspective of looking at things in a certain holistic manner.
The death row prisoner in question so the way he characterized the criminal justice system, I think I find very powerful in terms of the manner in which he himself was tortured by the police and inside prison. And he would say that, okay, all of this is very well and good that you've asked me, but the criminal justice system at the end of the day is like a spider's web, right? That, it is only the small insects that get caught and the big creatures just burst through it.
I think the relevance is that it makes what's uncomfortable in front of you and you are forced to look at it and you can't just turn away. because you don't like what you see.
I don't think we had really kind of anticipated that it would get this much attention. And post the release, of course, that attention in the nature of international publications and domestic publications, talking about that, talking about it both from the point of view of the numbers itself, what that means for India, but also talking about it from the context of that this work having been done in a law school and being led by students, that was completely unknown, right?
I think other than that, the big memory for me is the sort of feeling in the team when we finished it, and we held the report in our hands, and it was a reality to just have worked with a significant bunch of students and be able to show them that we can imagine something and bring it to its conclusion over a 3-year period. And they had given up so much in terms of their time and their internships and their holidays to get this done. It was deeply, deeply satisfying to show them that things like this can get done.